Thanks for staying with News at Prime tonight. We continue, of course, bringing you the latest out of KwaZulu-Natal as the evening sets, and further warnings are issued for different parts of that province in as far as the inclement weather is concerned. Much of it expected to continue overnight, and the South African Weather Service only confirming that it will clear again from tomorrow, but still the weather warnings, or the outlook rather, for the Easter weekend also not looking good. Well, let's find out exactly what it is that the KwaZulu-Natal government is going to be doing to ensure perhaps better response mechanisms to this crisis, and most importantly, dissemination of information, ensuring that communities are reached where they are in as far as these warnings are concerned. Let me take you to our senior reporter, Zianda, who's tracking the story for us. She's in Durban, of course. eThekwini has been one of the worst affected regions when it comes to the last 24 hours of severe rainfall. Zianda, lots of planning that needs to kick into place, but also lots of rescue efforts that are still required, at least for officials to get a sense that they can say confidently they're in full control of the situation.
Certainly, Kathy, and we're at the nerve center of those planning and preparations that are taking place behind the scenes. We're at the Disaster Command Center here in Durban, where there are several meetings that have been taking place. So the special cabinet that was called by KwaZulu-Natal Premier Sihle Zikalala has just concluded. And in fact, I'm now joined by eThekwini Mayor Mxolisi Kaunda. You are a part of that meeting, and just behind me there were other meetings taking place just for your municipality in particular. But Mayor, I want to start off with something very concerning that we observed whilst we were out and about. And of course, we understand that your disaster management teams must be under strain. But what we saw in Ntuzuma, where that bridge, that sinkhole, it collapsed, we saw residents now taking matters into their own hands and building a makeshift bridge. But there were electrical cables there that were connected, corrugated iron, nothing stable, which would obviously exacerbate an already bad situation.
Those conditions are all over the city. Our multidisciplinary teams are overstretched, as you are saying, but they are trying their level best to fix the infrastructure. Especially we are targeting to deal with the issues of water, electricity and roads, to unlock our roads, especially in the areas where we have seen that people can't even access public amenities and go to workplaces. So those are the areas of priority. So our teams have been deployed and they are working flat out to try and fix those challenges. But we are also working together with the private sector, because we are saying to them they must also lay a hand in this situation, because with our own footprint as a city, we can't be able to be everywhere within this 48-hour period. So we have to get collaboration from those who can come in and assist. But we are on course in terms of attending to those infrastructural challenges. And we are also expediting a process where communities are relocated to community halls so that they'll be safe, especially for tonight, those who have been affected yesterday. That's a program that we are pushing and pulling with all our efforts and resources that we have, and social relief will then be issued to those communities that are affected. And we have conducted visitations with the Premier and MEC for Kokta. We had two groupings that went to different directions. We were on the western side, they were on the northern side. They were later joined by Minister Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, as we are also preparing that the President will be coming tomorrow here.
All right, so you've just confirmed that President Cyril Ramaphosa will be in KwaZulu-Natal tomorrow. And I think one of the things that would be posed to him and to you, Mr. Mayor, this is not the first time we've been here before. 2019, we were all together at this nerve center, Amanzimtoti, Lembe, you name it. And the critical things then were that we've got an issue with infrastructure, especially here in eThekwini. The drain storage systems are are basically old. You have not also upgraded or created infrastructure that is keeping up with the climate change. So are we going to be doing this dance every year, every 3 years, where rains, the torrential rains, which is an effect of climate change, it's going to be there. So going forward, Mr. Mayor, are you going to take responsibility for poor infrastructure to deal with such rains, and what plans do you have in place?
It's not about poor infrastructure for these floods, because we must explain that to the public. What transpired is that most of the areas which were affected are in areas where there is landsliding. So that soil that is moving, it has got a great impact to the incidents that we have seen. It's not about whether stormwater, drainage system, but it is about the areas which people they found themselves building into. So those are the key issues which must be addressed. And it requires a collaboration, because even in one of the areas in Ward 105, when I was explaining to the committee there during our visit, to say you are living in a flood area, they were saying, no, this is not a flood area. We said, no, but by the look of things, we can see the stream comes from that direction to this direction. They said, no, the causal factor may be an issue of a pipe which was closed by those who stole our material of that pipe. So as a result, water is not pumped through and leave that area. So it's not just the fundamental impact that it has had, but it is about taking good decisions so that wherever the community is built, it should be a place which will provide and sustain their lives and livelihoods in that place, but guarantee safety. Because whenever, even if it's Induna or anyone who just give you a land, you must also be in a position to say, but you can't make me pay money for this area, because this is a flat area, so therefore I'll be washed away when I build my house.
All right, Mr. Mayor, we're completely out of time. Thank you so much for your time. And as you've heard there, the mayor confirming to us then that President Cyril Ramaphosa will be in KwaZulu-Natal tomorrow, hopefully to assess the damage. And I don't know if this also means that KwaZulu-Natal will be declared a disaster zone, but certainly the first citizen will be here after those torrential rains. But let's take you now to the business desk, where our colleague Dumisang Ndlovu is standing by with the latest on the business world.